Cape Canaveral is setting up for its latest mission to touch the sun. NASA's Parker Solar Probe is waiting on the launch pad to begin its mission Saturday. It will be sent into the sun's atmosphere to understand why the rarefied gases there are 300 times hotter than the sun's surface. A mother is being charged with first-degree murder after throwing her child in a river. Witnesses told police Shakayla Dinson waded into the Hillsborough River and threw her daughter in before leaving the river by herself on Thursday. Tampa police say Dinson stole a car before heading to the river. They received a call around 4 p.m. and a dive team responded immediately. They found the body 30 minutes later, 70 feet offshore. The child was pronounced dead at a nearby hospital. At her first appearance in court this morning, Dinson was denied bond. Florida Senator Rick Scott is speaking out on the U.S. commitment to Venezuela. A suspect is in custody following Friday's attack on 2 mosques in New Zealand that left 50 dead. That's your News in 90, but your Florida news is always on at WUFT.org. That's your News in 90, but your Florida news is always on at WUFT.org. A local church fights hunger in Guatemala by selling a seasonal staple. The Church of God in Gainesville is selling pumpkins to raise money for poverty-stricken areas in the country. The Urban Revitalization Project is accepting more mural submissions right now. They have an eye toward making connections between artists and growing the collection of public art. It sounds like a parking garage, and it looks like one too, on all of the floors except the first. The Urban Revitalization Project has had its hands and brushes on the southwest downtown garage since last March. The URP worked with the City of Gainesville and local artists to fill the space with about 50 murals.
Instead of trying to figure it out on your own, or not having that support system, so we kind of want to bridge those gaps in the community.
Almost every wall on the first floor is full. Now they are looking to take their art to the next level, the second story, that is. They asked each interested artist to send them 4 or 5 of their best pieces and a concept sketch for the mural. Alex Mathia has lived in Gainesville since she was 6, and her mural in the garage was her first. She calls it the Peapod Room.
It's indescribable. I really feel like I'm part of Gainesville now. I've always felt like part of Gainesville, but I definitely feel rooted here, and it's great.
Most of the paint used is recycled or donated for the artists to use.
What I'd like to see this year is a little more financial support from the city and from private business owners as well.
For Art Walk on February 22nd, they will hold an open studio space in the garage. The URP hopes this will attract artists not yet involved with the murals. The CRA wants to improve the sidewalks on Main Street to increase accessibility.
Well, I have worried about that because there's limited parking, and if they start redoing the sidewalks, it's going to be really hard to, be able to come in and leave,
April Goodman owns the Bird's Nest, a store on Main Street. She started the business 2 years ago after her daughter went away to college and left her with what she calls an empty nest. Through the store, she found a new community.
Give me a hug, I'm a hugger.
One she wants to see improve.
We need a wheelchair ramp and it doesn't need two step-ups. Because it is cracked up. It definitely needs to be refinished.
I measured the steps and they were over 7 inches tall. Goodman still worries how construction could affect business.
If you can't get out of the stores, I'll be worried about that also.
CRA Development Director Christina Wright says they're listening to the feedback.
A lot of the business community expressed interest that with jackhammering, it might impede the business, it might hurt the building.
Wright says they're open to a process that adds to the sidewalks rather than starting from scratch. First, they have to collect proposals to go before the City Council. Ultimately, the improvement process will be up to those making the proposals and those voting on them.
And yes, it probably will cost us some business, but in the long run, it'll be better for the town and for our customers.
Goodman says even if she loses business, she'll continue with her store for as long as she can. Rachel Rhodes, WUFT News.